Hi guys, so this is the two-step literal equations. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So we have 2x plus y is equal to 7. They want us to solve for y, okay? So I'm gonna put a box around that y. All right, that means that everything else that's not in this box, I need to move to the other side. I'm not gonna move that y. Whatever I box is not going to be moved, okay? So how do I move this 2x to this side? Well, this is a positive 2x. How do I undo anything that's positive or a plus? I do the opposite, which is a minus or a negative. So I'm going to do minus 2x. You have to do it on both sides, okay? What you do to one side, you do to the other side. 2x minus 2x reduces to 0. So this is gone. And then I'm left with y is equal to, the way that I'm going to write this is I'm going to take the coefficient with the variable and I'm going to write that down first, okay? So that is a negative 2x. I'm going to go over here, write down that negative 2x. Now, how do I write this 7? Okay, this is a positive 7, so I'm going to do plus 7. I'm going to do plus 7 over here. And I'm done. I have my y by itself. That means I solve for it. Okay. Now, moving on. Now, let's see what it looks like whenever it's just in a general equation. So, they want us to solve for y. Put a box around that y. And then, again, I'm going to move this ax to this side and this b to this side. Before I move this b, I want to make sure I move this ax first, okay? That makes it easier. So I'm going to move this ax first over here, and then I can deal with whatever is next to the boxed variable. All right, so that is a positive ax. How do I undo a positive ax? By doing the opposite, which is a negative ax. Do it on both sides. Ax minus ax reduces to 0 because anything minus itself is 0. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it. By is equal to, again, this is my constant right here. This is my constant right here with my variable. So I'm going to write that down first, and then I'm going to write down the c. All right. So I'm going to do negative ax because that's a negative. And that c is a positive, so I'm going to do plus c. Don't forget to keep a box around that y to remind us that that is not going to be moved. That is what we're solving for. Now, what operation is being used here? That is b times y. There is nothing in between that b and that y, so that means it's being multiplied. So how do I undo multiplication? By dividing. Divide b on both sides. You're dividing this whole thing right here. This whole thing is divided by b, okay? All right. Then I'm going to go ahead. Sorry, this reduces to 1. b divided by b reduces to 1. And now I can rewrite it. So I have y is equal to negative ax plus c over b. Or whenever you have addition or subtraction up here, you can separate these, okay? So let me show you what that looks like. You have y is equal to negative ax over b plus c over b. You see how I separated that? But both of these have a b still, okay? So don't forget to put it on both sides. All right, moving on to a number question. So let's do this one. So it says solve for x, put a box around that x. What am I going to move here first? Am I going to move that 2 or that 3y? All right, the answer is I'm going to move this 3y. So what is the opposite of positive 3y? Or a plus 3y? That's a minus 3y, right? And what you do to one side, you do to the other. 3y minus 3y reduces to 0, so this is gone. Then I'm going to rewrite it. 2x is equal to, what am I going to write first? Well, what is the variable and the constant? That's what I'm writing down first. So negative 3y. Is that 8 positive or negative? That 8 is positive, so I'm going to do plus 8. Don't forget to keep that box around your x because that reminds us that that's what's not going to be moved. Okay, now what operation is here? This is 2 times x, right? There's nothing in between them, so that means it's being multiplied. And how do I undo multiplication? By dividing on both sides. 2 divided by 2 reduces to 1. So then I'm left with x is equal to negative 3 over 2y. And then it doesn't matter if you write the y. Let me explain. It doesn't matter if you write the y on the side or if you put it on the top. Okay, that's just how I like to write it, but it doesn't really matter. Now, can I divide this 8 divided by 2? Can I reduce this? Can I simplify this? Yes, I can. What is 8 divided by 2? Well, that is 4, and that's a positive 4. So I'm going to do that. This is my final answer. Okay, so this would have been correct, but if we're able to reduce, we want to make sure we reduce. So this is actually the right answer. All right, that's most likely how you're going to see it. Now, moving on to the next one. So more practice. What do you notice different about these? Well, these have parentheses. So what does it mean if we have parentheses? We need to do what first? We need to distribute. What am I distributing here? The 2, right? And you want to make sure you distribute to everything that's inside of that parentheses. You don't want to forget anything. So I need to distribute before I even put a box around my variable that I'm solving for. So what is what is 2 times L? Well, that is 2L. What is 2 times positive W or plus W? That is a plus 2W. Now I can go ahead and put a box around whatever it is I'm solving for. In this case, it's L. And now I treat it just like any other equation. So what am I moving first? Well, first I'm going to move whatever is not next to this box, right? First, we have to move this to this side. How do I do that? Well, this is a positive 2W. So what is the opposite of positive 2W? Well, that's a negative 2W or a minus 2W. What you do to one side, you do to the other. 2W minus 2W reduces to 0. So then I'm left with, how am I going to rewrite this? Okay, this is the constant, or sorry, the coefficient with a variable. So I'm going to rewrite that first. So then I have negative 2W, and that is a positive P, right? Because there's no negative. So plus P is equal to 2L. Don't forget to still have a box around your goal. In this case, it's L. Now, how do I move that 2 to the other side? Well, this is 2 times L, so how do I undo that? What is the opposite of multiplication? Well, it's division. So divide by 2 on both sides. 2 divided by 2 reduces to 1. And then I'm left with negative 2W over 2 plus P over 2 is equal to L. But can I reduce anything here? Yes, I can. I'm going to go ahead and reduce what's negative 2 divided by 2. Well, that is negative 1. And then I have my W. Don't forget about your variables. And I can't reduce that P over 2, so that stays. And this is my final answer. All right, so for this one, it is the same question, but now they want us to solve for W. So again, I'm going to go ahead and distribute this to, oh, hold on just a second. I'm going to distribute this 2 into everything inside that parentheses. All right, so we have that P is equal to what's 2 times L? Well, that's 2L. What is 2 times positive W? Well, that is positive 2W. And now what am I solving for? I'm solving for W. So let's put a box around our W. And then we're going to have to move this to this side first, right? Everything that's not boxed. So that means all of this is going to move to this side. But first I have to do this part right here. And then lastly, I do whatever is next to that, my box variable. Okay, so let's do that. So what's the opposite of sorry, I just gave you the answer. What is the opposite of positive 2L? Well, I just said it. It's negative 2L. So you're going to go ahead and subtract 2L on both sides. 2L minus 2L reduces to 0. So then I'm going to rewrite it. And what do I rewrite first? Well, I move that negative 2L, and that is my coefficient with my variable. So that goes first, negative 2L. That P is positive, so that is plus P. And then I have equals to 2W. Make sure you keep that box around your W because this is not going to be moved. Everything else is going to be moved. All right. So that is 2 times W. How do I move that 2 over to the other side? Well, I need to undo that multiplication. So that means I'm going to undo it by dividing. 2 divided by 2 reduces to 1. And then I do it to this entire equation over here. So then I'm left with negative 2L over 2 plus P over 2 is equal to W. Can I reduce anything from this equation? Yes, I can. What is negative 2 divided by 2? Well, that is negative 1. Make sure you keep that variable. Don't forget about your L. And I can't reduce anything here, so I'm just going to rewrite it. And this is my final answer. All right. For the next one, it says 2x plus 3y is equal to 9. Solve for y. Put a box around your y. And we're going to move everything else to the opposite side, right? So what do I start with first? Do I start with that 2x or that 3? Well, I always start with whatever is not directly next to that box, right? So I'm going to start with that 2x. What is the opposite of 2x? The positive 2x? Well, that is minus 2x or negative 2x. And what you do to one side, you do to the other. 2x minus 2x reduces to 0. So then I'm left with 3y is equal to, how do I rewrite this? Well, I first rewrite my coefficient with my variable. So I do negative 2x plus 9. I also forgot to mention, guys, the reason that you can't subtract 9 minus 2 and it be 7 is because we have a variable here and 9 doesn't have a variable. So that's why we have to rewrite it this way and not just subtract 9 minus 2, okay? You can't combine variables with numbers. Forgot to mention that. All right, put a box around your y. Now, can I move that 3? Yes, I can. How do I do that? Well, by dividing, because that's the opposite of multiplication. 3 divided by 3 reduces to 1. And then I'm left with y is equal to negative 2 over 3x plus, what's 9? What's this 9 divided by 3? Well, that is 3. All I did was separate my equation, okay? Remember, you always have to reduce if you have the chance to reduce. And this is my final answer. Now, for the next one, we have negative 2x plus 6y is equal to 3. Solve for y. So I'm going to put a box around my y. And what am I moving? I'm moving that negative 2x to the other side first, right? How do I do that? By adding on both sides, because I'm doing the opposite of negative. Negative 2x plus 2x reduces to 0. So then I'm left with 6y is equal to 2x plus 3. And keep a box around your y so that we know that that's not being moved. What is the opposite of 6 times y? Or the opposite of multiplication? That is division. So divide this entire thing by 6. 6 divided by 6 reduces to 1. So I'm left with y is equal to 2 over 6 x plus 3 over 6. Can I reduce this? Yes, I can. And I'm going to show you how. So 2 over 6, right? If you put the top, 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 times 3 is 6. These reduce to 1, right? So then I'm left with 1 over 3. So then I have right here y is equal to 1 over 3x. Can I reduce that 3 over 6? Yes, I can. I have 3 times 1 and 3 times 2. These reduce to 1, and I'm left with 1/2. That's a positive 1/2. So plus 1/2. And this is my final answer. All right. All right, guys. So I'm going to make a continuation for these problems. Let me know and message me through Schoology or Mind if you have any questions.